What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're about to get a massive storm here, and I pulled up to a local piece of property here. I'm about to check some trail cameras. I have two non-cell trail cameras here, so I'm going to check those cards, and then we're going to go out, throughout the day and do whatever else happens if it doesn't rain. But I was driving yesterday, and I want to talk to you guys about edge. Having edge on your property and hunting edge in order to see deer, harvest deer, pattern deer, whatever it is. And I was driving yesterday, and it reminded me because I was driving down a road, kind of like a back road. I seen this yard. I was at a train crossing, and the train was coming, so I stopped right there. And the property was fenced with a chain link fence, and there was this little dirt path trail around the edge of the fence, right? And there was a dog there, and it reminded me just of edge for deer and other wildlife. Dogs are the same way. They'll follow that edge. Drive and look at people's yards. You'll see that dirt trail, where they're traveling. They're walking that edge, running the property line. So deer are the same way. So how do we do this on private land? Well, you can cut trees down, hinge cut trees, different heights of trees, to where, say you got, a 20-foot tree that you hinge cut, then a 10-foot tree. Then you have a 20-foot tree that is still standing, but you have a 10-foot tree that you just cut down. Well, anything like that creates an edge where deer can travel. They're creatures of edge naturally. This is well known. It's been that way for forever. When I started deer hunting 25 years ago, deer are creatures of edge. It's always been that way. So we have to create it or find it on private land, whether it's two different heights of food plots, or you have two food plots that meet together, two different species of plants. That's an edge. Whether you have pines, cedars, whatever it is, that meet up against hardwoods, or pines and cedars that meet up against a marsh. Pines or cedars meet up against some, cattails, or pines and cedars or hardwoods that meet up against a hinge cut travel corridor. Whatever that edge is where you will find deer. That's where deer want to travel naturally. So a good spot to set up would be finding that edge, traveling it, walking it, following the deer trail, see where it goes. Most likely it's going to go to bed or food, both ways. So you have to find that in order to bow hunt it. And how do you bow hunt it? Well, you got to find that area where you can get in and out of and not spook the deer. But public land, you can typically find that. Like, we're going sick of deer hunting in October. Well, we have an area that's an old clear cut, and it's been overgrown. Well, we're going to be hunting the edges of that clear cut and select cut, because sick of deer. The same way, they live in the marsh, but obviously they still travel the edge. Whitetails are the same way. Private land, I did that on my private land piece in Pennsylvania, where I have this ridge top, and the ridge top was pretty open. It was flat, up on top of the ridge, and it was fairly open. So what I did was I took about a half-acre section in the middle, and I TSI'd it, select cut it. I hinge cut some trees, flush cut some trees, and I actually girdled a few trees just to allow more sunlight in there. I didn't want to make it too thick because I knew it would regrow. Well, on both sides of that, I made a travel corridor, and those deer travel that travel corridor, and I have a stand kind of where both sides wrap around. I have a stand right there that I can come up this hill and pop right into the tree. And the reason behind that is it's thick in the middle. There's hinge cuts in there. I dropped trees. It's starting to regrow with woody browse. The first year was just green growth. Second year you'll get the woody browse regeneration, which is what's happening now. And those deer bed in there. They walk through there. Now bucks during the rut can walk those trails, the front and back, and depending on what wind direction there is, and they can scent check that area, see if there's any does bedding in there. So how did I create those trails on the edge? Well, it's thick in the middle, so on the opposite sides I hinge cut the trees to make travel corridors that wrap around that bedding area. It works perfectly. It's not that difficult, but you just have to think edge. Anytime you can find edge or create the edge simply by just cutting trees, guys, I promise you that's where you'll find the deer. You know, there's a lot of public lands where you have pines and cedars that meet together up against hardwoods or a swamp or a marsh, whatever it is. That's where you'll find deer. So any questions, leave them down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys on that next video.